Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Game 2 between Faceless and Power Gaming. You're watching the Summit 6 C Qualifiers. I'm Luminous, and I'm joined by Hades. And this is, well, like I said, Game 2. Game 1, Power Gaming off to a very hot start. Kunka was everywhere finding ganks. They were winning some big, small skirmishes. Until one fight, they got it turned around. Black went in by himself. His team came after. And, well, the rest was history. Big throw, well not throw, but big turnaround by Faceless, and yeah, Slark was unanswered.
Yep. Okay, Nick's ban again for Power Gaming. Actually, I agree with you, Lumi. Like, Faceless were really close to losing that game as well, but it was just that one fight right under the tier 2 where Power Gaming got wiped, and then that's when they struggled to hit their timings. Like, they had a very narrow lead. Faceless was still making good trades despite being so far behind, and all these tiny mistakes just piled up, and Faceless playing some good disciplined Dota, respecting not overextending as well at certain times, and Power Gaming, it was just really unfortunate because I'm pretty sure we both agree that we almost thought that they could have won that game.
Yeah, I thought they were going to win the game, Power Gaming, like just from the early game snowball. Ursa was pretty much out of control. The one thing I want to mention before we get into the draft is that when we were loading into this game, we saw that all 5 members of Faceless, they were playing Battle Cup together. I think they are at least the only team that I have seen that play Battle Cup together as all 5. And, you know, obviously they won. So, good job. A lot of teams just like, hey, you know, we have 3 guys that play or 2 guys that play. But shows that, you know, they are definitely committed to play even, you know, outside of scrims and officials. Cool.
Yeah, and maybe that's why they're more motivated to try and get a 2-0 now. Want to get those Battle Pass levels, try and get a clean win, get some break, maybe a bit of dinner before Battle Cup, time to queue. But for us, you know, we're not going to be able to play Battle Cup because we're going to be casting, bringing for you guys the Summit 6 C Qualifiers.
I don't have friends to play Battle Cup with anyway, so it's not much of a loss.
We can play together, Wait, what tier are you in?
I like how you said we could play together. I just like didn't say anything. No,
No. Oh my god. No.
the dodge. Alright, I'm just kidding, man. I'm just kidding. Power Gaming gonna open things up with the Ogre pick themselves. So I talked about Mosen's Kunka. Apparently, Faces didn't think that was a problem. They're gonna put it in the pool. But Power Gaming is gonna go for the Ogre first. And now we're gonna see the Faceless Warlock. Nuts has been the one that's been playing the hero. But obviously, you know, the hero could be switched to mid lane. As we have seen, like, for example, MVP has done in the past. So we shall see how Faceless will decide to run it again.
Well, maybe some of that Singapore arm, the National Service Army discipline coming in. They maybe like to standardize things a bit. So, but I think you're right. It should be a Nuts Warlock, where Undying being banned on again and Ogre being denied to XY. I am actually curious what other hero they will decide to give XY, because so far the teams have never really banned out XY's heroes. They've banned out just general heroes which they don't want to play against. And ISS's Timbersaw again. Surprisingly, like back in game 1 he struggled, but he did manage to find his stride towards the end. And we'll see what the Power Gaming. I feel like game 1 wasn't so much about the draft actually, to be honest, because right now it feels like they're just banning out Faceless heroes, but not so much concentrating on the the outplaying aspect.
Yeah. I mean, I think ISIS was sufficiently shut down in the game. Like, he got his Bloodstone like 25 minutes in, which is super, like, very, very slow for a Timbersaw. But the thing for me is that when ISIS was shut down, he doesn't do what other Timbersaws do. Other Timbersaw, when they're shut down, they just, like, disappear on the map and just farm for the next 10 minutes to get the Bloodstone. He just kept fighting for the team, and even though the fights didn't exactly go his way, at least he's helping his team to set up some kills. He went for max Timber Chain, max Whirling Death. Normally, you see Timbersaw maxing that reactive armor, and again, disappears off the map. But he's saying, look, I'm just going to fight my way back. Sometimes I will lose a game from it. Other times, like the last game, we could make that comeback. But this time around, we're going to see the OD. And OD is another amazing hero against Timbersaw. Reactive armor? What armor? It does not matter. And he has 2 abilities to take a ton of mana away from Timbersaw as well. And of course, a big ultimate that, just essentially shreks you. So I think Timber is going to, again, have a very tough game.
He is. But I mean, we've already seen Ice and how he's able to adapt to these different situations. Interesting Huskar ban though. I mean, Oracle hasn't been picked up yet, so this is a really curious ban. I'm actually curious what Faceless what's going on through their minds when you ban out the Huskar like that. And they just like to ban out these illusion heroes. Maybe you might even see a Terrorblade ban just for the fun of it. But Power Gaming, I mean, if I was Power, I would probably like just ban out Morana. Just don't want to give that away to Jabs. But Jabs has proven himself so far in this tournament to be a very versatile player. Once again, the Naga ban.
Okay. I guess this is more like they did homework against each other, or they had scrim against each other, and this is more like the informational gathering. But yeah, the Huskar ban doesn't make too much sense to me because you could still have numerous picks to counter it. Maybe Faceless is thinking more of a magic lineup, and Huskar is going to be quite good against that, but we shall see.
Usually they want to get the Nyx so that you can play that against OD, especially since this is such a hot pick in the meta. But Faceless, I think I've counted only like 3 to 4 different variations of that draft. We'll see whether they have a 5th this time. There should be an XY hero coming up pretty soon, or they might want to pick Black's hero as well.
So you say you asked them about their draft patterns, and they say they don't really need to change? Ooh.
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh. Oh,
that's
I
different.
like that.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what is it good for. I mean, you could steal OD's spells, namely Astra Imprisonment. For me, whenever you see a Rubik picked up, especially this early into a draft, it's more of like, hey, we have a Rubik player. We're comfortable with playing this hero. We're going to just pick it. You saw Alliance did it a lot for EGM. Recently, when I casted WESG, we saw Imperial doing it for Rise. So, I didn't know that XY was a Rubik player, so we shall see what he's going to bring to the table. Not many good spells to steal. I mean, Bloodlust you could get is okay, because, from Ogre Magi, you could take a spell so you don't get multicast off of it, so it's not great. You could take OD spell, again, Astral Imprisonment, but OD spells cost so much mana, and Rubik generally has mana issues to begin with. The good thing about having Rubik in this matchup is that it kind of restricts what Power Gaming could pick. Obviously, they can't go for things like Enigma, they can't pick things like Earthshaker, even for heroes like Anti-Mage, Weaver, that kind of stuff, you give Rubik a lot of leeway.
Well, something they could be thinking about as well is, just trying to scare Power Gaming, intimidate them, just like saying, all right, we know that you guys last game, you picked all these wombo combo kind of heroes, kind of draft, and we picked the Rubik right now, so let's see how you guys respond to it. So he still has a pretty good amount of spells to steal. Like Astral, like you talked about his mana pool, having some problems with that. But still, it's still good setup into the Warlock. You can still catch somebody. And Faceless, this should be a black hero coming out because they always pick Jab's hero last. So, Morphling is still available. They might decide to go with that. That's a really strong tri-lane if you think about it. Rubik, Warlock, and Slaughter will just be forced to go to the jungle, which means you can have the Faceless supports just roam around to the mid or even help out the offlane.
Okay, that is a possibility. Slaughter doubles up as apart from being a very good Warlock ult counter. Well, he doesn't counter though, but you could kill the Golem very fast with the amplified damage. Good against Timbersaw, also very good against Rubik. For these squishy supports, don't really like to be up in your face, and both OD and Slaughter and Ogre could get up to the Rubik quite fast and deal with them there. We shall see though. They are on the dire side, so having the Slaughter will give them more Roshan advantage as well. Face is thinking quite a bit here, digging into the reserve time for their 4th pick.
Yeah, we will be the Morphling.
Okay.
So every time they try this, this is where they have to win the lanes. So if you really get clean lanes out of this during the laning stage, you can transition quite nicely into the mid game because usually they will start to group up. Usually you don't see Morphlings group up. They like to get the split push kind of thing, get a bit of farm, but not the Faceless Morphling. Like the way they run it, they like to utilize the waveform a lot. But usually when they run Morphling, they always have Crystal Maiden, but in this case they don't pick it up for them. So no extra Arcane Aura. Black will have to be very, very careful with the way he uses his waveforms. And against OD, Power Gaming actually don't have a silence just yet. They could decide to pick up a Riki in response to Faceless. Now I'm gonna go for the Jug first.
Okay, so I know you mentioned the Morphling as something that Faceless run quite a bit. My question is, I feel like Morphling isn't the best pick in this game because, you know, when you're getting hammered down, you're going to start strength morphing. OD will take away a ton of your mana, so Morphling's going to have the same trouble as Timbersaw. Also, amplified damage to me is actually quite good against Morphling. When he's so high at strength, low at armor, you know, a lot of his effective HP is going to get stripped away by Slardar. So, again, you know, they picked this hero a lot, but I don't think it's a great pick here. What do you think?
I think it's okay. Like, maybe from what you just described, it's very like a 1v1 kind of situation. I'm thinking about like from a team composition point of view.
Okay.
Especially since these two teams, they have somewhat similar playstyles for the first 15 minutes in all the games which I've watched so far. If you notice, they've actually pretty much been able to figure out each other's patterns. And the only reason why Faceless have been winning so far is because they have been able to outplay them in the team fights. And Power Gaming haven't really found a way to fight around that. So you look at Power Gaming for a 5th pick. I still think the Ricky's a pretty good pick, especially against Morphling or Timbersaw. It will help Slardar set up for OD as well. Like you want to look at Slardar like I'm smoking OD Astra into a crush with the Ogre. That could be pretty easy. But middle lane Faceless, they will probably want a mobile hero. But Silencer, what?
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. Silencer for Morphling.
I mean, one of the issues that you generally run into against a Warlock lineup is you jump anybody else, the rock flies out, and you know your team fight gets a little bit weird. But Global backs you up, and now you have a lot of kind of in-your-face kind of ability to go in. And Silencer gives you a secondary fallback as a possible core, a 4th core, if the game goes in that direction. It's not uncommon for Silencer to pick up like 25 int, 26 in, and go in like that. Also quite good against the Rubik. Obviously a spellcaster that can't cast spells. Okay. I mean, fine by me. I do like watching Silencers.
It feels a bit greedy though. Like, you don't have that instant nuke damage, which is very, very troublesome if you're looking at Power Gaming. They don't have any way to nuke someone down.
Ooh.
Jabs Invoker.
Okay. Well, a lot of people are expecting it, at least in chat. They are correct. Are we going to see the standard Exhort Invoker? You do have the Telekinesis lift into that. Or are we going to see a little bit more Quaswex?
Quas Exhort for sure. Jabs lacks that Alacrity early on, so you do that with Morphling, really strong right click, or Invoker as well. I've been actually watching a couple of his replays, just trying to figure most Invoker players, they like to go for the Force Spirits, not Jabs. He usually likes to go for the Alacrity into a Sunstrike. So this is where you want to put more pressure on the side lanes, especially on Slardar and Lance. And of course, Sunstrike bypasses that Blade Fear because it's pure damage. So Faceless, I say they have pretty good kill potential on the side lanes. You really need to look at that, especially with XY. But of course, you probably just want to see Rubik and Timbersaw. Or will they decide to go for a tri-lane? We'll see. Because it feels like XY should be in a tri-lane situation, not so much to help Ice out.
Well, Sunstrike will scout the fact that there is a smoke available or used on the Power Gaming side. That's pretty common. Nothing that they are surprised by. And we do see Timbersaw switching his item build a little bit here. Last game he did start with the Windlace, which made sense because he had to dodge around a X marks the spot from Kunkka. This game though, it's just going to start with the good old Stout Shield as well as Tango. Okay, not going to block the camp. Interesting. Thought about blocking the camp, but instead we'll just scout out the pool. What he needs to worry about this game is like getting last worded as he's being gone on. Because yes, you can Timber Train away, but you are going to get silenced. You are going to get slowed. I think I heard another Sunstrike happening.
Yeah, I did, but not sure where that landed. I wish there was an option for you to just click on Invoker and you know where he shot the Sunstrike at. And about the Silencer pick, so you look at Faceless, the good thing about Power Gaming is they have pretty good team fight. Faceless, however, during that global silence period, things get a bit troublesome, but afterwards, if you actually just dodge that part, positioning is going to be very, very important for them this game. And I can actually still see them winning a fight even into the global silence.
Yeah, I mean, it depends for me who initiates and who finds the better positioning. Both teams are very good at chasing after the fights as well. You get the Timber Chain and Chakram obviously from the Timbersaw. Morphling can be pretty agile in these fights. On the other side, you got Juggernaut, OD, who's most likely getting a 4-staff, and of course Slardar, king of the chases. So both teams really counting for that first initial engagement to go their way. But without further ado, we got the game on the way. It's going to be Ice going up top. He's going to be up against what I assume to be a tri-lane. But so far, JYC on the Silencer. That's, ooh, okay. Timber Chain level 1 body blocking a little bit. Hoping the creeps will punch him a little bit. But that shall be it. And Lance is going to be his opponent in the lane as well.
Yeah, so MTR, he's going to go straight to the jungle, starts at Iron Talon. Doesn't want to risk. So Morphling free farm again, and this feels like a mistake. Because we've seen what happens when Black free farms. He really has high impact. And at the same time, like, I just want to point out, Faceless don't really have someone like, you know, who can really initiate. I'm not sure who initiates for them, because you look at power, you know, you get a blink on MTR, he will start the fight. But not for Faceless, unless Timbersaw just runs in.
Yeah, I mean, you have the possibility of having like a blink Rubik, or maybe Jabs picks up a Yule Scepter. But these are all very item dependent. You're right, like there's no natural initiator on the side Faceless. But they can remedy it with some items. We shall see. I mean, you can always initiate a fight by just throwing out your rock, but it's probably not the most elegant way to do it.
Oh, Jabs middle lane, they're trying to go on him, just harassing him out of lane. But if the salve, he'll be okay.
Yeah. Surprised to see that he ate his first tango without throwing down one of his ironwood branches to get you know, a little bit of that extra regen, because he will definitely need it. We might set up another kill. DZZ coming in here, and Ignite, right click coming through. The tree being eaten, but he kind of had to turn around and do it. He's gonna give up first blood to Mosin, and well, Invoker. Honestly, I don't think Invoker matches up well against OD, and that
He does not.
definitely does not help.
Alright, but probably underestimated the damage output coming out from Mosin. The slow as well. Really close. So this is where XY will rotate. You have a 1v1 earlier here with Ice Ice and Lance. I really don't count the silencer in yet because Arcane Curse. And you look at Ice Ice with 2 points in reactive armor. He doesn't really die yet, unless he takes like I think even if he tanks the whole Blade Fury, he's still okay. So XY will just rotate middle lane, try to help out Jabs.
Yeah, pretty much the only thing Silencer is doing right now is taking experience, but things might turn around here as Ice 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 trying to juke. Here comes that Blade Fury. I'm not sure if we could tank this one. Nice Fire Blast.
Oh, okay.
The first one to fake out the chain, the second one being the real one, and it connected. Mosin, gotta say, starting to fanboy a little bit. Kunkka is good, Ogre is good, and he's doing a lot of work. Got first blood for the team, now getting a second kill for the team. Well done.
MTR decided to lane, or at least hang around if nuts. Morphling is just such a good Morphling game. He's I'm thinking right now, do you want to go for like a Manta style first, so that at least you can dispel the silence, dispel amplify, that kind of thing? Or but Lincoln's is usually like the fallback, or rather the first item, the textbook build.
Yeah, I wonder that as well. I mean, there's generally two big builds. Like you go for the Ethereal Blade and look for more split pushing and pick off, or you, like you said, pick up, let's say, the Dragonlance, Manta, and look to do more stuff with the team. MTR is gonna eat a Shadow Word and is forced to run away. You say that he groups up with the team a lot, which makes me think that he's gonna, you know, look towards more of a, or not having the Ethereal Blade.
Oh.
Mosin coming in here, but oh, actually,
He's dead.
MTR might be dead. No.
Oh no, he's not.
Mosin nicely done with the Fire Blast, preventing it away from coming out. Suddenly Nuts might be a little bit of trouble. He's going to eat quite a bit of damage, and the Mosin right click will continue. Fire Blast coming off cooldown in 1 second. Nuts needs to juke, but there's no juking here. The right click will do it. He still has Fire Blast. No, Ignite's going to fly towards Black, and that'll be the end of that. So Mosin continue to do work here. Another roam, another kill.
They kind of messed up the timing. XY, you saw what he was trying to do. The telekinesis back into the waveform, but just brought it a bit too close to Black. Black was actually sort of like leaning forward to the morphing. He was kind of in the waveform animation, and then just very unfortunate that the crush came off from the slaughter. So yeah, otherwise that could have been a kill.
Mid lane, Jabs continue to have some issue here against the OD, who's leading him by 10 CS, but it looks like we have XY, excuse me, trying to rotate in for the lift, but very low movement speed, Rubik. No windlays, no upgraded boots, so no gank. That is the weakness of this FL lineup. Like, their early game's gonna struggle. They have good static lanes, but they don't have any good like rotation supports. Like, they don't have an Ogre, they don't have a Kunkka.
So that's where they need Ice to really get to that colossal level so that he can stand in front for them. So they can get the spells off at the same time. But mobility is also a huge problem if you think about it, because I don't see how Rubik really catches up to a Timbersaw so that you can get this the synergy in the fights out properly. But Ice AD level 6 going to be able to provide a bit of more of an issue to Lance, especially top lane. But oh, Mozen's behind.
Oh, there's the Blade Fury, the stun. Mosen a little bit late on that one, so the second half the Blade Fury not doing that much damage. And now Ice, knowing that he will die, just kind of turns around and mans up against Lance. Will get one kill. The Sunstrike missing completely. XY spells are cooling down a couple seconds. Looks like that will be a disengage. Regardless, Faceless turns around a gang that was meant to kill a Timbersaw. And gets a counter kill, so very nicely done. But DDZ comes around. Where's the Astro? It is going to get him, but I think he'll pop out on this side. So I think he'll be okay. I say that though. No, he pops out in the middle of the lane. Still will be fine. Mosen comes around. Mangoes cuts through trees. And Ice still juking, but taking a lot of damage from that Arcane Curse. And now DDZ will get the kill. Or actually, Mosen does. DDZ ports out.
Oh, JYC.
What happened?
Gets out on 15 HP. Pops the smoke just to dodge the tower projectile.
Nice.
Invoker. Oh, the Sunstrike.
Alright, I'm just missing everything.
Oh, middle lane, DDZ, the cold snap. Can he get the kill here? Has the Fairy Fire, pops the one, charges. DDZ actually pops out, wins that battle in 50 HP.
Well, it does not help that as you're trading hits, you're losing damage. And he's gaining more as In is being siphoned away from you. Buyback Sunstriker? That would be a Sing Sing move. And he will also miss that Sunstrike. But so far, no buyback. DDZ is taking the road less travel though. It should be fine. Actually, he won't make it back to base because of this roll. Let's see how good a Sunstrike. You just throw one, right?
I think so. Sunstriker? He's not going to. He has it off cooldown, but he doesn't want to use it. And Ice is just being a huge pain to Lance, and Lance can't solo kill him by himself because of the level 4 reactive armor.
You know, I'm surprised that he doesn't even have 1 point into Rolling Death. Because it's going to be so good against the Juggernaut. But, yeah, not complaining. He's actually winning lane. Despite that 1 kill against him, he's not going to be slowed down. This feels to be a very different Timbersaw game compared to the one that he had earlier.
It is. But this is pretty much the textbook, or this is the new trend for Timbersaw. Because you want to make sure that you're super sustainable in the lane. So that's why you get the maximum reactive armor. It's also, sometimes it's a player preference thing. So, in this case, Ice, he really makes sure, he's just making sure he doesn't want to die. Ozen, no, he's not going to find anyone. But OD, wasted rotation to the top lane, which means Jabs gets some comeback from in this middle lane, who's trying to build his way to a Midas in just a fair bit.
Yep. I mean, Jabs falling quite behind, but once Midas is up, once BOT is up, he's going to be able to farm and catch back up. And I don't think Faceless is looking to do much in the first 20 minutes. They're going to just farm. They have Morphling, they have Invoker, 2 heroes that could extend into the late game extremely well. Black picks up a 9-minute Quelling Blade. It's some next level stuff, but he's a carry player, so I'll trust him on that. I wonder if he's going to upgrade into a full Iron Talon, or just wants that extra bit of creep damage.
Yeah, it's just for the creep damage. It's just the QB. He's done this before. And sometimes you see Drow players get QB. And it's just to help them last it easier, push out quicker as well. Ice, they really want to go him here. Look at DDZ, he's playing very patient.
DDZ's been missing a long time now, so Faceless should be somewhat aware of this rotation. Okay, Lance loses half his HP by running in. I just don't think this is a good use of their time. Here comes Lee, they're baiting Ice to stay. And that's it. In fact, they're pinging him out. I don't know if they have vision on him. They don't. But they're just aware that somebody's nearby.
So DDZ wasted a good minute and a half just staying in this top lane.
Yeah.
Didn't accomplish much. And look at Morphling's net worth. Like, he's just going crazy. Nuts as well. Has level 6 already. That's the big spell for them. And they can actually start contesting fights with the Invoker. Okay,
we do have a low rotation coming from behind. Mosens finds Jabs. Oh, they want to go for Nuts, but here comes all of the TPs. 4 seconds for Astro is a long time for the Radiant Hero to support, especially right next to that tier 1 tower. Seems like apart from the first couple of kills that Power Gaming has gotten, the last couple of minutes, they just can't find anything going for them. Black will get lit up by the amplified damage. He'll get zoned out here. He's losing a ton of mana. Black will wait for him away. He's gonna get Fire Blast, stunned, and that should be a kill. Well, he's trying to wave to strength, but there you go. Very good heroes against Morphling on the side of Power Gaming.
Amplify damage just too good. Actually, just now, Power Gaming did want to fight, but they changed their minds just at the very last second. I think one of the support players, he was pinging out nuts. Like, he said, oh, here's level 6, don't fight here. Otherwise, that could have been a disaster for them, so good decision and good observation from them as well. And Power gonna lose a T1 top lane actually. XY and Ice, 3 T1.
Yep. Now, last game, we saw Power Gaming off to a very, very hot start, and honestly, they're still doing pretty good here. They have more kills. The net worth is...
Nice ult.
Sunstrike will fly out here. It won't hit anything, and looks like that will be it. Rock was committed. I didn't see actually how or why was the rock dropped, but they will try to use it to siege the tier 1 tower a little bit. Like you said, Morphling looking to join the fight.
Oh, Jug, Omni Slash into Rubik. And Ice's Eyes actually gonna die here.
Whew!
Didn't have any stacks into the reactive armor, so goes down. Good Omni Slash. Lance gets some comeback.
Yep.
Gold.
Alright, I really need to catch these kills. Sorry guys. I'll shape up, make sure that things are going well. Also, how is MTR doing on his Blink Dagger timing? Not too bad here, and now they're gonna chase down that Golem. 100 gold to the bank of MTR. Yeah, it's actually more than halfway there, so just as I was saying that Power Gaming's struggling a little bit, they're definitely making a strong move in this mid game. In fact, they find Black Global Silence being committed, and they get another kill. They ping out Roche. They do have amplified damage, and they have OD. They could go for it.
They shouldn't contest this Roshan. If anything, they need to just push for objectives, just at least get a bit of comeback from the lanes. And Lance not gonna join them. He's only on phase boots and a ring of health. So, but actually he's above the Morphling in terms of net worth. Morphling, tough game. This is why I think we did discuss saying that he should consider the Manta style first, or even Desert Dragon
I
Lance.
thought they're contesting. Mozen's gonna take a ton of damage on the front line. Everybody's running low. Mozen's gonna get lifted, and the critical thing, Sunstrike, that's gonna hit on 3 heroes. The critical thing is FL will find the Roshan at very low, so they're gonna go for a steal, and I think they might even get it. Ice tanking the Rosh a little bit. Jabs takes up the Aegis. Thank you very much. Maybe they needed Lance there for his damage output, or his healing ward. The fact that he wasn't there made it somewhat easy for Faceless just to walk in, get a kill on the Ogre, get a Roche kill.
I think they were just confident because they had amplified damage, but yeah, I agree. If Lance was dead, that would definitely have been their Roshan. Just such unfortunate timing, like because it's still so early, spawn timers are still very low. And looking to MTR 600 gold away to a blink, and then he can start jumping the back line, especially on nuts. They can find easy kills on the supports. Like, it's a rough game to be a Rubik unless you get mobility item like a Blink Dagger or Force Staff. And Ice, trying to go on Lance here, just harassing him back a bit. He's still going though.
Yeah, Chakram coming off cooldown. There is spin, but Ice says, sure, I'll chase after you. No, they'll back off. XY is gonna get slowed down here. Stun will hit. The rest of the team is coming in, forcing staff forward. There's going to be Astro. They're looking for Ice as well. Maybe cancel his TP. No, they don't. But they will get XY trying to spin away, but amplify damage and right clicks. Easy peasy.
I was looking at nuts to see whether he would TP in, but even though they kept chasing, they had no intention of ever going in to help them, so they just wanted to minimize their losses. And this way, they really need more, at least the first item like the Lincolns onto the Morphling. Top lane, they may fight since they still have the Warlock Golem up.
Black's farm seems to be quite slow. I mean, he's the highest net worth for the team, but he did die a couple of times. I think 2 times back to back, so... Just looking for a little bit more Astro. Oof. Almost.
They tried to catch him. Top lane, however, it could be a bit of a trap. Ice, all alone. Lance coming in right now. Of course, the stun coming from Mozen and the Omni Slash. Ice. Oh, he's still alive.
Not for long. He's dead.
He will eventually go down. So, yep, first item yields. It's a good item to deal with the Silence, the Arcane
Faceless
Curse.
wants to fight. They have the Warlock. Oh, they will drop it right now. Lance is going to get focused. Omni Slash gets stolen as he didn't actually use a spell. We're going to see XZ trying to Omni Slash. XY finds nobody. Okay, he will have it for the next fight, but that's a pretty big mistake by Lance. I'm not sure whether he had no mana or not, but he should have spun. Maybe not used to playing Juggernaut versus Rubik. Big turnaround.
So now they'll just kind of group up.
Oh, I think Japs is dead. Crush
Yes,
right on
Aegis.
time. Well, he's gonna lose that Aegis. We're gonna see DDZ running away. I say that though, he's kind of hanging around looking for a little bit more. Walks forward. Astro finds another one. Global Silence is available. Blink Dagger is not, as it's being cancelled. MTR, is he gonna get a little bit of bailout? Is there any global? MTR runs through the chakra. Not exactly the best path he could have taken. Taking a ton of damage, and he will go down. Meanwhile, looks like Rubik got picked off here by OD.
Yep, just trying for a bit of a flank around. But unfortunately got caught alone. Not sure what he was trying to do. So very unfortunate for XY. Meanwhile, Invis rune on DDZ. We'll see whether he can do something with this. Maybe find a good setup onto Ice Ice Ice, who is very low. He could actually get a solo kill here on Ice Ice Ice.
Yeah, I think he's dead if he wants to commit his ult. Maybe doesn't even need to. Okay, nice Astro right on time. Yeah, he definitely doesn't need to use his ult. Sunstrike?
Well, he's really low though. He could try. And the TPs are coming in. They want to find DDZ.
DDZ wants to find them. I don't know. His team is nearby. He wants to fight. He's gonna pops out and hit more creeps. And OD, not surprisingly, is the highest net worth in the game. Has one of the most kills in the game. And he is looking to be unstoppable. 2,900 gold. I wonder what he's gonna get. Normally, players like to upgrade that Hurricane Pike into the Hurricane Pike. Some players like to go for Blink afterwards. Some players like to go for a straight BKB. We'll see what he wants.
Well, he can actually hold the goal, just see what they need next, because he may even just consider saving up for a BKB straight away. So that this way, Timbersaw can't really do much, and Invoker spells won't really affect him, most of it. And MTR just picked up his Blink a bit ago, so this is where Power Gaming, they found their timing. They need to hit it now. They can't let a repeat of Game 1 happen. But Smoke Attempt coming out from Jabs, XY, and Nuts. Heading to the top lane, they want to find the Juggernaut.
Okay. Rock cooldown 10 seconds to go, so if they find a hero a little bit too soon, they won't have it for the actual beginning of the fight. But they do see Lance. This truck is baiting him. Lance somehow knows. That's 6 cents. Okay, sees the Force Spirit as well as Alacrity nearby. He knows heroes are close. He'll back off.
Just really good game sense from Lance, especially since you look at the Power Gaming vision. They have such deep wards in the enemy jungle, and when you don't see anyone there, you don't see anyone in your jungle, you don't see anyone in the lanes besides Ice Ice Ice, you know that something's up. It's a good game sense, but MTR looking for a crush. He's gonna chase after Ice 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 top lane. DDZ also on the way, looking for the crush. Ice could be dead here. Need a bash? Does he
Crush.
get a bash?
Ooh, and this chase is getting a little bit too long, although nobody's actually teleporting. There we go. We're going to see one TP coming in. Keep in mind that Rock is available. Blink Crush will hit. Sunstrike, the Rock,
Lance.
everything. Global is going to be on top. It looks like he dies to the creeps. Meanwhile, on the left side here, Yule Scepter getting rid of the amp. Meanwhile, DDZ force staffing off to the cliff. Still looking for Ice Ice Ice. He's trapped into the trees. He will go down eventually. On the front line, Nuts taking about half of his HP's as on damage, but he will be fine. Black lifts up Lance. Yule Scepter. Or not use up there. Wait for it, not going to be there. Lance gets him out of there. Sunstrike, not going to hit again. Jabs really need to improve his accuracy. Meanwhile, Moses in the back line gets found by Jabs, but here comes OD looking to drop his ultimate. The hammer, is it going to get dropped? Nope, not yet. Now we're going to chase more. OD's 4-staff cooldown. Looks like he got for Rod of Atos. He pops it off on Nuts. Are we going to see that big... Oh, still no ult. And a couple more right clicks. Silencer's going to get the kill, but DDZ hitting super hard now.
Pretty good response coming up from Power Gaming to just back out, and they were just really spread out. If you noticed, even when the Rock landed and good Fatal Bonds, there was just no fallout from Faceless. They tried to run all the way to the top lane, but pretty good. And Power Gaming, they win that fight, 3-for-1 trade, and Morphling still needs maybe an E-Blade so he can try and nuke someone down. And that's just Power Gaming taking control of the map again, and this almost seems like a repeat of Game 1, but Faceless, the Astral setup is going to be there.
Ice heals himself up and runs away. Teammates are porting in. I'm not sure whether they saw DDZ into the trees. Looks like not, as they're not chasing him. But in fact, they want to come out and go for Ice again. Ice losing a lot of int already. Still keep in mind that he has the ult. Mio on the right side. Oh, going forward. Nuts eats a big ult. One more right click is going to do the job. They kill XY as well. And like you mentioned, very big repeat of game number 1. What I wonder is whether this is going to be a repeat of Black coming out of nowhere and just putting his team on his shoulder. Very different hero compared to the Slar. Can't have that explosive mid-game on a Morphling at the very least. So, I don't know. It feels like Power Gaming is large and in charge mostly off the back of this OD.
It's more difficult because Morphling going up against DDZ and Lance, it's not like a Slark where he can have a Shadow Dance and he takes no damage during that time, maybe except from Sanity's Eclipse. And Morphling is countered so hard by all these Power Gaming heroes. It's really, really hard. And you look at Ice in the Warlock, they need to somehow get maybe a Meteor combo off during that Chaotic Offering. So with the Fatal Bonds up, that's where that's the biggest chance of winning a fight right now.
Yep.
You know, JYC finds Black. Do they know he's all alone for now? No, they don't.
Yeah, that goes back to, you know, their 4th pick when they picked the Morphling up. And I was saying, you know, I don't think Morphling is just going to have a good game here. But we'll see if Black is able to play it through. The second Roche will be respawning fairly soon. Both teams are trying their best to scout it out, but Nuts looks like he's going to get caught.
Nuts.
Blink Crush. Lutz a little bit out of position, and this time, Silencer picks up the kill again. Checking on Silencer's int, 16 stolen, got the hand on Midas. They mentioned the possibility of a semi-core Silencer, but now we're actually going to see it. We'll see exactly what item he'll go for. Force Staff, Hurricane Pike is generally the standard opening for this kind of build, although we do see some Caster Silencer going for things like, you know, Refresher Orb, Aghanim Scepter, that kind of stuff.
Even a Hex is pretty good so that you can more control on like the Morphling. Or I'm not even surprised if he goes for like a Blink Dagger so that you can get, you know, just go ahead, be a bit more mobile, so you make things difficult for the Timbersaw to catch you. Because Timbersaw is just on the heals, and that's not an item you usually want to go for.
XZ is going to get a lift up, but unfortunately Global Silence will come out. XY is going to pour it away, and so will Ice. No! He gets found by the Blink Crush. That will be yet another kill. Timbersaw, well, he had that good early game in the lanes. But ever since the fights are happening, he's not having a good time.
Really tough game. The Timbersaw pick up very early, and this is starting to hurt them now because there's nothing for him to really farm on this game, even in these fights. They're just lacking initiation. Power Gaming are finding these catches every time over and over again, and they can actually just proceed to take themselves Roche number 2.
Well,
actually,
Roche number 1. Hopefully for them, they don't get found. Meanwhile, Jabs finding a kill, got Blink, got Yule, so that's a setup that you were looking for. Who's going to be playing the Initiator? This time, I don't think there's going to be a response, and Faceless not even going to the pit. HS will end up at DDZ. Sunstrike.
wait, but this is Roche number 2, right? I mean, it's in like the second Roche of the game already.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So Faceless, yeah, okay. Now BKB and DDC. Oh, they can't even kill him once. I'm not sure how they kill him twice. So Faceless Void, or Team Faceless, tough game.
Yeah, the only way I see DDZ actually dying is if he chases like deep into towers and his BKB's down. Black, like you've been mentioning, looking to fight with this team. The question is, where are they going to find? Who are they going to find? JYZ dies immediately. No response whatsoever from Power Gaming. MTR is kind of stuck on the cliff. Will come down, multicast on XZ. 3-man crush, pretty good, but the Rock even better here. Ultimate's gonna get dropped. Everybody's mana's being burned, and DDZ pops up BKB. Going forward, Jabs dead so far. Army Slash cleans up one another, and now we do have Black trying to pour it out. No way to cancel his TP. He'll make it home. The Warlock Golem also dies, so 4 kills for a Silencer. Not exactly what you would type worth.
This is where you see, like, regarding the draft, the Warlock pick, teams, or rather, Power Gaming has adjusted very well to play against this because they take care of that Golem very, very easily. Amplify out, you get 3 hits in from the OD, goodbye Golem, easy 100 gold going the way of DDZ. And Lance is caught up on farm very much. He's already second in the net worth, and he struggled earlier on. He's on a Blink, Yasha, and a Battle Fury. He's going to make his way to a Manta style soon, or Sanch and Yasha if you want, if his heart desires. And they can just beat Trigon.
Huh. Interesting they'll back off. No Warlock ult, so could have made it a go, but honestly, OD doesn't punch tower that hard, and Lance, you know, still doesn't have Mantis out even, so we're probably gonna come back a little bit later and go for the high ground. Gem being picked up on Slaughter, so this is a big pick here for Faceless. I think they should smoke up and look for the Slaughter. You get the gem back, you get a little bit more map control, and play from there. I mean, keep in mind that Faceless does still have the quote-unquote late game advantage with the Morphling as well as the Invoker. It's more so that their farm has been really, really slowed down. This Timbersaw hasn't shown up really to play. And, you know, the supports will start to fall off a bit if they're not kept up in terms of the inventory as well.
It's just really tough because there's no comeback mechanism for him. You have two farming cores in the Invoker and in the Morphling where you generally just want them usually pressuring early lanes for quick objectives. They never got to that power spike and pattern where they usually want to group up and take early towers. In this case, Power Gaming, DDZ is just too big right now. So they're gonna, you know, get this tier 2 top lane, starve them out, and Faceless, the only way they're back into this game right now is for the high ground defense. They need to hold against Power and win a fight.
Well, let's see how will Power Gaming even the series up one game apiece. They're gonna drop Healing Ward. They're gonna just walk straight up, no fear whatsoever. DDZ, in fact, going forward, he knows he's got the BKB. Astro actually going on the Juggernaut. Maybe they could play off of this Sunstrike. Thanks for the setup. Lances lose about half HP. BKB gets pop here. Nuts getting focused. Nuts dead. BKB still going. A pretty precious BKB just for Nuts skill. Global Silence will come through. Defensive Yules will fly out here by Japs. He will blink to the right side. He's fine. Throws away a little bit of the Invoker combo, but XY getting 3-shotted by DDZ. OS Frog on this hero. Hammers drop. DDZ putting his whole team on his shoulder. Ice says, take me to Rampage. Thanks for the feed. And DDZ will take his team to game 3, where hopefully we're going to see an OD ban. Or not a Timber this early into the picks.
This game was just the DDC show completely.
Yeah. I mean, one of the weakness of the OD is that he gets spammed out in the lane very easily. But that never was the case. Invoker's not exactly the best hero to do so. They had no rotation. There's no plan B for the supports, right? Warlock can't roam there. We saw Rubik trying to roam there, but unfortunately unable to get kills. Me on the other side, Ogre, getting first blood mid, a kill top, a kill bottom. And that really set the tone and the pace of the game. And DDZ never looked back. You know, there was one good fight near the Roche pit where the Radiant team just walked in and took the Aegis. That was pretty low. But apart from that, it was, you know, Power Gaming in control.
Yeah, that was a bit of luck, I mean, regarding that first Roche. But this was, like I said, you know, DDC show just really synergized so well with the Slaughter pick. And I think this is where Power Gaming have figured out a way to play around the way that Faceless drafts. So this will be an interesting game 3 because when you have, you know, such a standardized strategy like Faceless, game 3 will be more of a challenge, especially now that Power Gaming have found their stride and momentum.
Yeah, hopefully we're going to see a little bit of different strategy because I don't think the same draft, at least with the Timber in the first phase, will work out. But we're going to save that discussion for a little bit later on. Game 3 is going to be coming up next in just a moment's time. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll be back.